has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on a bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seat, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live, should do bad in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up should do be, along with the Teddy and Tater King, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, the put it with the golf guru, Masters Week. Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia is running it along with Luke. I am your father. The rundown on a midweek Where Do You Hurt Wednesday. A double shot with Morency this very hour from British Columbia. And then in the second hour, a double shot with the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live from Toronto. And then in the coup de grace, the final hour, Smiley, Kaufman, styling with Carver High. And then top it off like a cherry on the cake, our boy Stewie. Keith Stewart from Read the Line, another double shot. You have got to be kidding me. You talk about Magnolia Lane. I mean, we have rights. We are there. We are all over Augusta as it all starts tomorrow. The par 3 was today. It is all evolving rapidly, Carver High.
It certainly is on, I guess, what you would call, it's a supersized Golf Wednesday, right? I mean, as it should be for the Masters. You know, we obviously love Golf Wednesday here, but when we're talking about the azaleas and the green jacket, I mean, the champions dinner last night, you know, you put all those things in, and it's here. So we need a little bit of a supersized Golf Wednesday, and we will get that today.
Did you see him ironing the table?
What, you know, it's a little too much with and I love, you know, I know we love this stuff, but to put in the video, and if you go look at the Masters on X, you know, they put up a little video of the champions dinner. We don't need the guys ironing the tablecloth while they're on there. You know,
they cover all the bases.
It's a little too far when you go down that road. Did you like the plates that have the clubhouse on them that they put down? And everybody
2 wine glasses. I mean, you're talking Michelin-rated, 5-star, Michelin-rated type of, you know, waiters. They bring all the forks in the right place. I mean, they got it all. The salad fork, the food fork, the plates.
It's
the
amazing.
Bread plates. I mean, they got it all. You know. But Rory's not invited.
Rory not invited. Will he be invited by the time we get to Sunday night? Who knows? Maybe. You never know what can happen this weekend at Augusta. And I'm excited today. I mean, we're talking reading the same mail. Me, Stewie, Cam. I mean, a lot of the same guys were on. So it's going to be a lot of fun when we get to the picks later. We have baseball to attend to this afternoon. There's a ton of afternoon games here on a Wednesday, including, do I see this right? They now go to the 11th. You were saying with the Buccos, they go to the 11th?
Well, maybe they are, because I have it. Maybe I'm off by a couple seconds. They are in the top of the 11th. I'm videoing it in the bottom of the 10th. Obviously about to watch it fail.
Yeah, so you go to they're about to fail because they're now in the top of the 11th at PNC, scoreless with the Redbirds and the Buccos. Really low scoring all over the place in these early afternoon games that are outside in the cold. The Yankees did just get a 2-run homer from Ben Rice-A-Roni to lead the Tigers 2-0. Now in the top of the 8th inning in Detroit, you have the Marlins up 2-0 on the Mets here, although they did just get a double from Alonso, it looks like. So they have a man on second and 2 outs. They're down 2-0 to the Fish. And the Rangers got a first-inning homer from Corey Seager. That has stood up so far as they go to the 4th inning at a very cold, chilly, wet, and windy Wrigley Field. this afternoon. Now, there are several other games that we will get to later, including the Padres and the A's in Sacramento coming up later this hour, and a few other games. So we will make sure that we get to all of those. Lots of baseball today. And lots of NBA, as we've only got a couple days left in the regular season, and things are trying to get sorted out in that Western Conference, Scotty, and you had pretty much all the teams except Denver playing last night. Golden State, Memphis, and the Clippers all won. The Lakers lost in Oklahoma City after Luka got the gate. And Minnesota blew a 20-plus point lead in the fourth quarter to the Bucks. And now they're sitting at the bottom of all those teams, eighth in the West.
And a lot of people think that they're the best team of that pack of Wolves. But last night, they barfed all over their bib in Milwaukee at Fiserv, up 24 in the fourth. How do you lose that game? I'll tell you how. You get outscored 40-13 in the quarter, and it was comeback city, rally cap style, and the Bucks get it done, and they cover, obviously, against Minnesota. So at the end of the day, the Clippers found themselves in the 4 spot. They didn't cover, but they won the game against the Spurs. Did I get that right? I think they were playing San Antonio last night. So,
correct.
Yeah, they got it done. Zubac's had a 24-20 game. He had 20 rebounds. Again, the guy's a freak.
He really is. Nice job by the Clips. And then, of course, your thoughts on crybaby Luka, who I guess got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He was trying to jaw with a fan in Oklahoma City last night, and I guess the ref thought he was talking to him, or that's the story they're telling,
right.
Of course. You could kind of see, but he gets rung up, and the Thunder just smashed the Lakers after that, and now he makes the big return tonight, right? Luka back in Dallas for the first time.
I got to be honest, I didn't think it mattered that he got tossed. They got whacked in the fourth either way at the Paycom. And, they won Sunday there and stunned the Thunder. No one saw that coming. We did see last night coming, though, the return of serve. And the Thunder and Shai Gilgeous got it done and covered. But none of that really, at the end of the day, matters because tonight he's going back home to Dallas. And let's face facts, that's where he's cut his teeth in the NBA, was with the Dallas Mavs. And after the trade February 2nd for Anthony Davis, he went to L.A. and he's loving life with the Lakers. And I would think it'll be great for him to be back there as long as he's going off. He's going to go off tonight against the Dallas Mavericks and his boy Nico. That was nothing when they played in L.A. This is what it's all about, the return and revenge on Nico. And I think the Dallas fans love him. I don't think he's going to have a problem with the fans. He's going back there to get revenge on Nico Harrison.
I think he's going to absolutely get a huge ovation tonight. They love him there. He didn't ask to leave. They stabbed him and then called him fat as he was going out the door. So I think that everybody in Dallas loves that guy, and they're going to give him a big ovation tonight. Of course, Lakers are one of those huge games against the Mavs. The Warriors are playing the Spurs at home. The Nuggets are in Sacramento, and the Clippers are home for the Rockets. And then the T-Wolves and the Grizz play each other tomorrow night. So those are the games of consequence in that Western Conference later this evening.
We'll see
go
how
through
Denver
all
does
of those.
with Adelman's son now after that bloodletting in the front office and on the sidelines.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
tip for my fellow golfers and gamers. Do you want to book a golf trip to Vegas? For the best weather, aim for spring and fall. But the best prices, aim for summer and winter. But if you're looking for that sweet spot, try June. You get the August prices without that scorching heat. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
You can catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 Eastern on all our TV and radio outlets, and you can catch Morency with us on Coast to Coast every day from Vancouver. How about that crazy Canuck comeback last night with 3 goals in the last minute of the game to win it, right? Like, did they not do that? Like, some craziness happened?
Yeah, I guess better late than never, right, for the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks have played a lot of wild games this year, Scott. They've blown more 3-goal leads in the last 3 years in the NHL than any other team by a lot as well. So they've blown 3-goal leads. They come back every now and then. I've been warning people, we're at the time of the year right now in the National Hockey League to expect crazy results. Look at, like, the Seattle Kraken beat the LA Kings the other night, Scott, 2-1. And then they turn around, they were down 7-0 last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a night-by-night league right now, the National Hockey League. The players, you know, they've got golf clubs on their mind. Everybody's got the Masters on their mind. You know, hockey players have golf clubs on their mind. Some players are playing hard, trying to make money on the way out, trying to get their own personal goals, etc. But buyer beware in the National Hockey League now over the next couple of nights.
I mean, that was absolute craziness. And then at the same time, Montreal won again. I think they're lock, stock, and barrel for the playoffs.
I'll tell you what, the Montreal Canadiens, Scott, this is a team that, you know, the wheels are rolling for them right now. They've got confidence. They've got youth. I don't, buy into, like, home ice so much, but there is something special about Montreal. And if you look at Montreal in the history of the playoffs, they're one of these teams, Scott, that, they don't make the playoffs for a couple of years, and then they do, and they go deep. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they made the Stanley Cup Finals in the COVID year. They upset the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. And not only that, they get news yesterday, Scott, of Ivan Demidov, who this kid really is a phenom. I know everybody's great, and, you're going to this guy and that guy. But this kid, Scott, he just set a record, most points ever in the Russian league for somebody 20 years old or younger. He's been playing against men for years. He would have been like the slam dunk number 2 pick in the draft. But due to the Russian politics and stuff that's been going on, NHL teams were scared. They were hesitant. And a lot of people thought, you know what, this kid won't arrive in North America until like 2027, 2028 or something like that. over the last couple of years since Russia's been boxed out of the international hockey world, they've tightened up. And they were like, we're not giving up our young players to the NHL anymore. We're not doing this. You're going to play in the Russian league. And Putin loves hockey, so he is involved in this stuff. If he doesn't want you to leave, you're not leaving, like point blank. So that was a shock yesterday. The Canadians have been working behind the scenes on it, but nobody in the media knew, Scott, he's going to play. Like they're in the case of, this is for next year, he's going to play. Like they plan on playing him on the second line, actually. I think it's a little crazy to put it out there that, he's going to be a top 6 forward. I mean, the kid's 19 years old. He's never played a single shift in the National Hockey League before. And you're talking about, top 6 forward in the playoffs. But, this kid's been playing with men. He's on the Russian men's national team, Scott. He's the real deal, this kid, damn up. If you look at the highlights of this kid, it's like, I don't want to get carried away here, but I don't know, it's like Pavel Bure or something, Scott. Like, the dude's just like he's one of these Russian goal-scoring prodigies, bro. I guess I should say Ovechkin. But the way he skated and stuff, he reminded me more of Bure, to be honest.
They've won 6 in a row, and not only that, they're helping other teams. They're basically the reason that Ottawa got into the playoffs last night was the Montreal win over Detroit. That got Ottawa in. So the Canadians are helping others while they've won 6 in a row, and they had played 5 games in 8 nights.
And they basically just buried Peter Laviolette. You know what I mean? If the Canadians, it could have been anybody that was going to finish ahead of them. But the Canadians, listen, the Senators are another one, Scott. Senators, you got a hockey mad fan base. They haven't had a lot of success. It's been a while since they've been in the playoffs. Anytime you got a Kachuk on the team, you got a chance. and everyone talks about Keith, but Brady's a hell of a player. And this kid's just flying around out there. They have great goaltending. The Boston Bruins made a big mistake in paying Swayman all that money and letting Allmark go. But it seems like whatever the Bruins have, all the buttons, the Bruins, they pushed all the wrong buttons over the last couple of years, Boston. But Allmark's a good goalie too, Scott. Ottawa are going to be a tough out in the playoffs. But I tell you what, Montreal and Washington, that'll be a fun series. And if you're the Washington Capitals, this isn't like, don't worry about it. They're a wild card team. No, they're one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League right now.
So who do you think wins the Tampa-Toronto game tonight at Amalie?
I would say, I'm going to lean. The Leafs are one of these teams, Scott, that it's all about the playoffs, bro. This is like talking about the Buffalo Bills, like regular season game with 3 weeks left and have already clinched a playoff spot. It's all about the playoffs. The Panthers kind of wanted to send a message last night after losing a bunch of big games to these teams in the division, in the conference lately. So I could see Tampa bouncing back here, Scott, tonight, but minus 185 is just not something that I'm really interested in. I've sort of backed off the National Hockey League. I was really hardcore into it, like even up to about a week ago, but I'm telling you, like now's the sign. The Rangers are a good example here. You really want to lay 190 with a Ranger team that quits? So I would go with the Flyers tonight, Scott, with plus 160. Laviolette's talking to his family right now about where they're going to move. Like, he's going to get fired. You know what I'm saying? So, you got players and coaches that they're thinking about other things right now, some of these teams. I mean, underdogs, baby. That's the way I look at this. So, I don't trust the Lightning, though, laying minus 185. Flyers do look attractive to me. I got a lot of thoughts on the afternoon baseball, though, specifically the Sacramento-San Diego game, too.
Well, we'll give you that coming back, but who do you like in the St. Louis-Edmonton game tonight out in Farrell, Alberta?
You know what? I'll go with the St. Louis Blues. Smoking hot team. Give me the St. Louis Blues.
All right, so when we come back...
the Oilers are injured, too, Scott. It's catching up to them. They've got... Now Nugent Hopkins is hurt today, too. I want to throw that in there.
So we'll hit these baseball games. The Pirate-Cardinal game is crazy. In extra innings, they both thrown a runner out at the plate. The Cardinals just nailed the Pirates at the plate, so they're going to the 12th.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? and that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and you know, launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
He'll never stop shooting a basketball the rest of his life. All he's going to do is become one of those old, famous ex-players that's in the Hall of Fame, that's a legend, that shows up at games, just like his dad did. His dad shows up at games. His dad was never as good as he is. And his brother is the lost soul. Like, they don't even care about his broke ass. This guy, Steph Curry, can play forever.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the tribes, I believe that California can too.
It would bring a lot of money to the tribe, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the tribes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
So the Cardinals have runners on the corners with one out in the 12th, and it's going on at PNC right now. That's been a crazy game. Miami's up 2-0 on the Mets in the top of the ninth. Yankees up 2-0 on the Tigers, top of the ninth at Comerica. Going to the 5th in Wrigley, 1-1 Texas and the Cubs. So what are your afternoon Brian Dayball snags in Major League Baseball?
Well, I tell you what, Scott, I've been riding this. We've bet the over in every home game for the Sacramento Athletics. They want to be called the Athletics, but they're playing in Sacramento. They keep on posting the same number every day, 8, 8.5. Last night they posted an 8. They had 9 runs in the first inning. It was like, wow, okay, thank you. So last night, the overnight number was 9.5. I see it's an even 10 right now. I'm a little bit concerned about it, but we're gonna ride the wave, Scott. There's the saying: if you're sitting at a roulette wheel and you're betting red-black and it's come up black 5 times in a row, don't get cute and take red the 6th time, right? So we're gonna ride this wave. If we lose, fine. In the long run, we're gonna win betting overs in this stadium. My only slight concern is that the injuries are starting to add up for San Diego. Right now. So Jackson Merrill, of course, on the injured list for the next 10 days with the hamstring injury. And then last night, Tatis hurt himself swinging the bat. He's not in the lineup today. I actually think the Athletics are the play today, guys, at -140. They've got bats. Their pitching is terrible. But, you know, I was going to say Oakland, but the Athletics can put runs up on the board. We saw that last night. It's kind of hit or miss, but when they get it going, they can. I can sort of see it going this way again, that the Athletics roll them. You know what I mean? 8-4 or something like that, 8-5. I'm not going to get in front of this, Scott. Not only are the games going over, but they're going over easily. But I don't know. I'd like to talk to a real expert about this. I don't really think it's because it's Sacramento. I think the Athletics pitching has just been that bad, Scott. It's not like there's a million home runs here. I was watching a game last night. It was like, all right, double, single, line drive down the third baseline, right? Like, it's not like, oh, yeah, like it's, you know, the ball is sailing and flying 600 feet and stuff like that. But whatever it is, Scott, because we thought that'd be the case, and it will be once the weather warms up in the summertime in Sacramento. The ball is going to freaking, like, launch. So everybody was kind of waiting for this, but it's been kind of chilly there. It hasn't really been hot. And the games are still going over, Scott. So I imagine once we get to the summertime, the totals will be like 12.5 and stuff like that, like Coors Field type of numbers. We got a 10 today. I'm going to ride the wave and go with the 10, guys. Give me the over 10. I liked it better at 9.5 last night, but we told you to bet it last night, so I can't change the number for you. But we'll go over the number, and I think the Athletics get it done. And listen, Landon Knack is on the hill for the Dodgers tonight. But they are, as far as, like, you know, yesterday their lineup was not a very good lineup. Like, they've been resting guys, and guys are in or out and stuff. They don't want to lose this game today. I know the Dodgers well, Scott. Like, this is their lineup today, with the exception. They don't have Freddie Freeman in the lineup, but everybody's playing. There's going to be an edge to the Dodgers. They're getting tired of losing. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. Expect the Dodgers to win -1.5 today.
And they have done horribly on this road trip.
It's been a terrible stop. You know, they lose 2 or 3 to Philadelphia. They go to the White House, and they haven't won since, Scott.
That guy's bad luck, man, for the stock market and for baseball teams.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
You're right. So
yeah. I saw that. I was like, oh, yeah.
What's the weather out there in Vancouver? What's it like there? What's it like there weather-wise? Because everywhere here, at every game, it's freezing ass.
It's starting to get a little nicer. The weather right now is actually, you know what? I don't think you'd think it's so nice, but it's 48 degrees right now and sunny though.
That's chilly.
48 and sunny.
Cold, but it's not cold, but it's chilly. So like if it's windy, that's cold. If it's not windy, 48 isn't bad. If you're sitting at a game and it's 40 degrees, you're freezing your ass off if there's wind.
Hey, I don't want to be, I'm not a meteorologist, but I do read a lot. And I can't tell you, Scott, that it's supposed to be an unseasonably cold spring everywhere, basically, in North America.
What about your Whitecaps tonight?
Oh, boy. How do we get in front of them, Scott? All they do is keep on finding a way to advance. Thank you for bringing it up. I was at the game the other night, and they won again. Man, this team is just rolling right now. Big underdogs tonight. Let's look at the Asian handicap. You can get the Whitecaps tonight. Yeah, they call it instead of alternate line, Scott, in soccer, it's the Asian handicap. That's what they call it. Give me the Caps plus half a goal, plus 100 on the Asian handicap.
Let's go Whitecaps.
Let's go Caps.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and you know, launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
He'll never stop shooting a basketball the rest of his life. All he's going to do is become one of those old, famous ex-players that's in the Hall of Fame, that's a legend, that shows up at games, just like his dad did. His dad shows up at games. His dad was never as good as he is. And his brother is the lost soul. Like, they don't even care about his broke ass. This guy, Steph Curry, can play forever.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the Tribes, I believe that California can too.
Would bring a lot of money to the Tribes, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the Tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the Tribes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
So the Cardinals did score a run in the 12th, Mike, and the Pirates will have 3 outs to score 2 runs. It's that simple, or 1 to tie it and keep it going because they're down 2-1 now.
Yeah, it's
or 1 to
it's
nothing.
been a pretty
1-0. Sorry,
1-0. So they're going to have to get involved here in the bottom half to try to keep this game going against the Redbirds. Marlins, by the way, have extended to 5-0 over the Mets at Citi Field. And I'm seeing Yankees run around the bases as I speak. It looks like Judge just knocked in 2 more. 4-0 Yankees in the top of the 9th in the Motor City. And the Rangers have extended. A 2-run homer from Jonah Heim and then a RBI double for Josh Young. 4-1 Rangers lead the Cubs out at Wrigley. So I do have for you the rest of the games that are going to start this afternoon. I know that you and Gabe were talking about a couple of these, including the game in Sacramento, where the Padres and the A's are going to get going in a matter of moments. Randy Vasquez and Osvaldo Bido are going today. Minus 145 for the A's, plus $1.20 for the Pods, and a big 9.5.
Yeah, give me Libido and the A's today with all the Padres injury problems.
They do have a lot of injury problems. Bit of a skeleton crew lineup for them today with no Tatis and no Merrill in there for them. The Orioles are in Arizona to finish off that series this afternoon against the Diamondbacks. You'll get the Dean. Dean Kramer against Brandon Pfaadt this afternoon. Minus 115 for the Snakes. Minus 105 for the O's. A 9.5 here as well.
Yeah, I'll take Arizona and Pfaadt.
Can I get some runs out there this afternoon? I mean, geez, let's go here. I'm tired of these low-scoring games. Put some runs on the board. Also starting in about 10 minutes out at Oracle in San Francisco. It'll be the Giants and the Reds. This has been a pretty low-scoring series. Nick Martinez and Justin Verlander will go this afternoon. Minus 145 for the Giants, plus $1.20 for the Reds, and a 7.5.
I like Verlander and the Giants to finally get a game in this series. They lost 2-0 and 1-0. I think they win today.
Yeah, they came home after that outstanding trip, to start the year, and they've struggled here these last couple days against Cincinnati. The Dodgers, another game you were talking about with Gabe, they are in D.C. against the Nationals. They have not had a good couple of days there. They're 9-4 now on the season. Landon Knack will go for them tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Jake Irvin goes for the Nats. Right now, minus 185 for the Dodgers, plus $1.55 for the Nats, and a 9.5.
I guess I'll take the Nats again. They've already won the series. They've won the first 2. Woods went off yesterday. And I think that I'll take that big fat price, $1.58 with Irvin. Why not?
Can we, Irvin gave up 3 homers, I think, his first time out. Could we get a couple more taters out of Irvin today? Maybe Muncy, maybe Betts. Can we get some homers out of the Dodgers this afternoon? Come on now.
I don't care as long as there's a bunch of runs for the Nats, too.
The Astros finish off this series in Seattle, the rubber match. Hunter Brown and Louis F. Castillo. Louis F. Castillo going for the Mariners this afternoon. Astros minus 145, plus 120 for the Mariners, and a 7.5.
They got to trade the Louis F. They can't have 2 Louis Castillos. They got to get rid of the one. And then one way to do it is to have Brown beat him today. Give me the Astros.
And I'll tell you one thing they really can't do to us, which is unfair. Can they break them up in the rotation? Maybe
every day, it's the same too.
The real Louis Castillo pitched last night, and then this guy's pitch. Can you space it out so that maybe it's every third day one of them goes instead of them pitching back to back, and we think that there's something happened. But at least I'm glad they put the F on there on all the
drives
books
in
and
the run. Your boy Tommy Flem drives in the run.
How about that? So what do we got now? Back
1-1.
Back even 1-1. They play on in PNC in Pittsburgh between the Redbirds and the Pirates. Let's
Clear the
keep
decks.
going. And the rest we will do in a little bit. We do have several more games tonight that we will discuss momentarily. Let's go through a few things from last night. First, Braves needed to get off the deck in the worst way. They beat the Phillies last night 7-5. This was supposed to be a big pitching matchup, right? Sale against Wheeler. Anything but. Tons of runs in this game. Austin Riley putting the Braves ahead for good. FanDuel Sportsnet.
There is the right center field gap, and that ball finds it. Ozuna's going to come home to give Atlanta the lead. Riley delivers 6-5.
I mean, so what's that, their second win? I hope it's a long, hot summer down there. I don't care about them losing at all. I have no problem with it. I think it's fantastic. They win a game. They're cheering. I'm supposed to get excited now. They're going to go to the playoffs. We already know the deal. You start 0-7. No team's ever done it.
They are now 2-8, the Braves. 2-8. Their second win last night.
Have fun climbing that slippery mountain.
It's not an easy one to climb, that's for sure. While I'm watching this guy hit, I got to ask, has this guy Jazz had a hit since he hit all those torpedo bat homers the first weekend against Milwaukee? He hasn't had a hit. I haven't heard about the torpedo bats the last few days with the Yankees. No torpedo bats.
Turning on my guy Jazz, okay?
I love
DJ
Jazz,
Jazzy Jeff.
Could the guy get a hit other than the couple homers that he had? I mean, he's up now, second and third. Really put the hammer down on this game. Let's go here. Enough of this stuff. Tired of it. Elsewhere last night.
This game's in the
bag. As he strikes out to end the inning, Jazz.
What a bum,
no torpedo
miserable
bats.
hack.
Yeah, not a good scene there. The Jays beat the Red Sox 6-1 last night at Fenway. The Brewers
What a shame.
beat the Rockies 7-1. A ton of homers for the Brewers last night. How about Bryce Terang, who's got like an 11-game hitting streak here? He gets it rocking on FanDuel Sportsnet.
Fly ball, right center. Doyle is back. He is looking, and it's gone for Terang. Home run number 3, and that hitting streak stays alive. 11 games now for Bryce.
Notice that the Brewers are now winning.
Of course, well, it helps when you play the Rockies, right? Like, the Rockies are just god-awful. They are such an awful team.
That is the worst lineup. The Pirates and the Rockies lineups are trash.
I think everyone on the Brewers hit a homer last night except my guy Churio. I think everyone hit one except him. So that means he'll probably hit one tonight in Colorado. So that's usually how it goes. Guy shows up the next day when you need him. We mentioned the Reds and Giants. They played a 1-0. I mean, 1-0 games have the Reds played this year on both sides. Win a game 1-0. Last week they lost 3 games in a row 1-0. Some low-scoring games for them. And the Angels beat the Rays 4-3. I'll be honest with you, I watched like the last 3 or 4 innings of that game down at Steinbrenner Field. I don't know how the Rays ran themselves out of like 4 runs last night. They should have won the game like 7-4. They were so sloppy on the bases that I think they had 3 guys thrown out at home on groundouts with the infield like kind of in, like just going on contact. Pathetic job by them. Clay Holmes with 10 strikeouts yesterday for the Mets. Maybe he can be a starter, Clay Holmes. I guess he is going to be a starting pitcher. And Cole Reagans also 6 innings, 1 run. 11 strikeouts for
Ronald
him.
Reagans with 11 Ks last night at the K.
Ronald Reagans for 11 Ks. Max Fried pretty good too today in his performance for them. So there you go for the Yankees. Devin Williams
Cole,
coming on.
We just need Fried chicken to be strong every 5 days.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and you know, launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
He'll never stop shooting a basketball the rest of his life. All he's going to do is become one of those old, famous ex-players that's in the Hall of Fame, that's a legend, that shows up at games, just like his dad did. His dad shows up at games. His dad was never as good as he is. And his brother is the lost soul. Like, they don't even care about his broke ass. This guy, Steph Curry, can play forever.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
These guys are barreling everything right now that are hitting well. Pitching is usually ahead of hitting this time of year, but torpedo bats is what we're reading about, Tom, and I think it's hilarious.
Will the pitching be out in front, or are the bats actually this strong? So it's going to develop over the course of weeks. And again, if all teams have the ability to do so, be creative with it and get out there and use it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the tribes, I believe that California can too.
It would bring a lot of money to the tribes, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the tribes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Wednesday. And yes, a supersized Golf Wednesday today as we get ready for the Masters, teeing off in the morning, the drive down Magnolia Lane. Let's do it, baby. Smiley Kaufman, of course, is with us every week. You catch the Smiley Show every week here on SportsGrid, and he is there getting ready for the Masters in Augusta. Smiley, it is great to see you as always, my man. First thing, like, you're down there. It looks awesome. The course looks great. The weather looks great. And I'm seeing you with the Smiley Show. I mean, how about talking to Ben Crenshaw this week about winning the Champions Dinner, everything? That was really cool, Smiley.
It was pretty legendary stuff. Getting to sit down with Ben Crenshaw for 30 minutes. It was definitely a highlight of the Smiley Show for certain. And this is just a great week. You said it. The weather looks incredible. Really, I mean, it rained pretty much all day Monday, and then yesterday was fantastic. Today was great. Had a chance to walk the golf course today, get a pretty up close look at every single hole. It looks a little bit different, I'll say, just with 11, 12, 13, the amount of trees that are down compared to years past. So visually, it looks a little bit different to my eye. But if you went for a first time, you would never be able to notice. But I think just some sight lines are a little bit different. And then just overall course-wise, it was pretty slow yesterday, but the greens got ramped up again today, and the place appears to be fairly dry, and I think it's going to be a very firm and fast Masters this year.
Of course, Smiley, I would say the biggest storyline, and we love the Masters for storylines. That's what it's all about. I mean, look, you have Scotty going for 3 out of 4, 2 in a row. Hasn't won this year. He's the favorite on the board. And then you have Rory, who's playing the best golf ever going into the Masters. He's won twice this year at Pebble and at the Players. So those are like the two titans right now, Smiley. I'll get into the rest of the field in a moment, but how about these two big guys, the two big storylines going into tomorrow?
Well, I think Rory is probably the biggest story, knowing that this is the one he's hasn't been able to win to complete the Grand Slam. He's already won a couple times this year, big events, and it just kind of seems like it's his time for the Masters this year. The mental side of the game, it just seems like, to me, watching from the outside and even watching him inside the ropes early this year, the game just seems natural to him. He's not fighting himself. it's really impressive to watch. And then, of course, Scotty going for 3 out of 4. I mean, it's pretty dang impressive. He said earlier this week in a press conference that this is the best form he's been in heading to any tournament this year. And when you think about this golf course and how well he's played it and how suited it is to his game as far as just how good he is with his irons and underrated he is with his pitching around the greens. And what it really all comes down to this week is can you go out and just hammer out the par fives? If you can go out and play these par fives well, and then be really good tee to green on the other holes, you're going to have a chance come Sunday.
This usually, Smiley, isn't a tournament where you've got some big long shot bomb that comes in. Now, look, we've had them. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It seems like once every 10 or 12 years, somebody does come out of nowhere and win it. But for the most part, it's the big dogs that are going to eat here, Smiley. And I actually think there's a bunch of them near the top of this board that are kind of getting slept on a little bit, whether that's John Rahm, maybe, who's won here, Xander, who won 2 majors last year. How about these other guys that are right below Scotty and Rory?
Well, I think Colin Morikawa is the one that is the first one that comes to my brain just because of how good of an iron player he's been in his career. He's typically gotten better each year with the putter. You don't necessarily have to be the best putter in the field to win this golf tournament, but what you really need to have is the ability to control your golf ball, avoid 3-putting. And, Colin Morikawa, he's done a really nice job of that. He's had some good events here, of course. But other guys, too, that are a little down the board, I mean, I lean more Bryson DeChambeau probably over John Rahm. I just think Bryson's length is such an asset. And obviously playing well in the major season last year, getting off to a nice start last week at the Live Miami. I think he's another player that's going to have a good week. But, distance is, I think, a really key aspect of this golf course because then landing angles into these greens that are going to be very firm, players that are going to have shorter irons, and I think that's a tremendous advantage.
How about Smiley a little bit further? First of all, I don't want to run out of time. Give me who's your pick this week because you always have the one and done pick. You hit a couple weeks ago with Minwoo. Who do you have? Who's your guy to win Augusta this week?
I took Bryson, and so with one and done, of course, the idea is to maybe not use the PGA Tour players because the Live guys you can only use 4 times during the year. So my strategy has been to try to go Live golfers at the majors. So Bryson's my favorite of that group. But other guys I really like too. Shane Lowry is a player that I really think has played really well this year. Sepp Straka. I think Will Zalatoris is really being slept on. And even a player like Victor Hovland, I think he's got tremendous value just because of how talented he is. And just look at even last year at the PGA Championship, had no form and just about won that event. So Victor Hovland's a guy that I think people continue to sleep on. And he's already won this year. And even so, it's crazy that he's probably still working on everything. But Victor Hovland could just as easily win this event too.
Yeah, it can really not being talked about at all, Smiley, even though he won 3 weeks ago. Some of the older guys are playing well, too. Sergio, Phil, there's a few guys that have been playing some pretty good golf. Maybe can hang around that leaderboard Saturday and Sunday.
Maybe even a guy like Keegan Bradley, too, the captain of the United States Ryder Cup team. Keegan Bradley could have a good week. That wouldn't surprise me. And he's trying to play his way onto the team and not have to be a captain's pick. So this one would go a long way for him.
He'd get plenty of points this week, Smiley, if he could pull it off. He'd go a long way towards making that happen. Smiley, enjoy it down there this week. We will be watching you right here on SportsGrid on the Smiley Show for all the great stuff you're going to have down there. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. It's the best, man. Masters week, you can't beat it.
Let's go, Smiley. Masters week, baby. Ferrall Coast to Coast. We are back on the grid right after this.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that riff. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the tribes, I believe that California can too.
Would bring a lot of money to the tribes, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the tribes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
After every round, you guys were still up in each other's face, mouthing off before you went back to your corners, trying to get not just the last punch, but the last word. What was the mood between you guys? Obviously, you're in there for your fright.
It didn't cut him. It didn't stunt him. A point wasn't taken away. There's no reason to even mention something like that. You're in a brawl. Things are happening. Accidents happen.
Only on SportsGrid.
So I was watching this while you were doing Smiley. I was watching a Pirate game, and all of a sudden I lost it. And they have the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 13th, and I can't get it back. It's just savage what's happened to me. Like it's almost like bad luck. The Black Cloud Diner.
That doesn't make any sense. It
makes
just
me
turns
go back
off
to the
on you.
beginning of the game. It's like saying start over. Bucks and Cardinals coming up. Like, are you kidding me? I don't have 3 hours to rewind.
No. We'll see if the Buccos can push across that winner. I certainly hope so with the bases loaded and nobody out. And let me tell you, too, things are, I guess you could say getting sticky in Detroit. When you're one swing of the bat away from tying the game, I guess it's sticky. Well, now here comes a run in on a wild pitch. So 4-1 Yankees. Second and third.
Right.
Well, what's going to go on here? They bring in one run. There you go. They're sending him back. So 1 run in, second and third, 2 out. McKinstry's up for the Tigers against Devin Williams, who's thrown 31 pitches so far this inning, and he cannot get this third out. So we'll see. They're one blast away from tying it in Detroit. Diamondbacks have gotten on the board first against the Orioles as well. They are up 1-0, end of the first in Arizona. Scoreless bottom 2 in Sacramento.
So
with the Padres.
I'll give you this:
A's.
McCutchen grounded into a force out. They got the plate out, and they still have the bases loaded.
With the Bartman up, your boy Bartman with a chance to be the walk-off hero this afternoon at PNC. We'll see if he can do that. We'll see if Devin Williams can actually get a third out here, and he doesn't. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to get 1, if not 2 runs in, I think.
The humanity
He's
of it
safe.
all.
Oh, buddy, and he gets to second. He's going to go. He stays right there. So here's the deal. 4-3 off of that McKinstry hit, 2-run score. He gets to second on the throw home. Now a base hit could tie the game for Detroit.
Is this happening? Honestly.
And Boone's going to go get Williams out of there. He's taking Williams out of the game as he's thrown well over 30 pitches now, has given up 3 runs, and just can't get out of this mess. So the Tigers flip the order back to the top for this Justin Malloy, who's going to come up. Isn't that the Jersey kid you were saying yesterday? The kid from Jersey?
He's from
Malloy?
St. Joe's.
Well, he's got a chance to stick it to the Yankees right here and tie this game when he comes up. Good chance for him to do that.
Going to Yankee games.
It's very possible he did. Let's get to the rest of the games tonight. We do have 6 games on the night schedule. We'll start in Cleveland, where the White Sox and the Guardians are going to get together again. It'll be Sean, I'm not a goalie, Burke. Sean, don't call me Sean Burke, the goalie.
It is
against
Sean Burke,
Logan
the goalie.
Allen. Logan Allen for the Guardians, who are minus 175, plus 145 for the White Sox, and a 7.5.
You know, I'm still just going to take the Guardians because they're at home at Progressive, and the White Sox stink. They're starting to turn into the White Sox again. They're 2-8. I'm on the Guardians no matter what. Oh, and there's another home run at Wrigley. It's 6-1 Texas into the basket. No leaves on the vine. Check out. Ooh.
That's Corey Seager with his second homer today.
The Silver Bullet Band.
Rangers. Unbelievable. The Blue Jays are still at Fenway against the Red Sox. Tonight you'll have Kevin Gossman against Tanner Houck. Minus 130 for the Red Sox, plus $110 for the Jays, and an 8.5.
I think Tanner Houck is ass mustard. Give me the Jays and Gosman. Stone ground mustard.
I wish the weather wasn't so bad in Boston tonight, because some of these guys have huge numbers. If you like playing with bad weather,
6.5. This guy gives up a game.
I mean, Duran 7 for 19 with a homer. Devers 9 for 30 with a homer. Bregman 2 for 12 with a homer. They all hit Gossman pretty well, but it's just the weather's just so awful. I can't play the homers in Boston tonight. We will come back, and I'll give you the last 4, including the Phillies and Braves, who are going to get together in Atlanta again, and the Angels and Rays in Tampa. So a few other night games that we'll discuss. And the homers. I got a couple homers tonight. I'm going to try to get back on track a little bit.
That Kikuchi Pepio deal at Steinbrenner Field is a good one.
Kikuchi loves giving up taters.
He loves giving up long balls. He'll never stop shooting a basketball the rest of his life. All he's going to do is become one of those old, famous ex-players that's in the Hall of Fame, that's a legend, that shows up at games, just like his dad did. His dad shows up at games. His dad was never as good as he is. And his brother is the lost soul. Like, they don't even care about his broke ass. This guy, Steph Curry, can play forever.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.